we need to be so confident about what we're doing in this path of bhakti that we don't let anyone slow us down, drag us down, confuse us, even shame us for it, right?
Yeah.
And my conviction is when we bring a lot of nuggets onto this show, right? And when we look at wise people from all different cultures and all different ages, it seems to me that the real wise ones knew something. And that had to do with, yes, we're all about improving the world. But anybody that's talking about improving the world without talking about improving the self first, there's
spiritually bypassing.
You could say that.
You know what I mean?
Flip it on them.
Spiritually bypass
You could
their
flip it
own
like
self.
that. You really could. You really could. Or you could even, if you didn't even want to call it spiritual bypassing, you could actually call it like justice bypassing. Like until you deal with yourself, you're not going to actually be an instrument of justice or peace.
Sure.
And so, we see the Martin Luther Kings, and we see just across the board, all the great thinkers, all the people that really brought positive, lasting transformation. They really focused on the self first, and then from that platform, they brought their, whether you want to call it activism, or they brought their influence into the world. And people nowadays will shame you for how can there be Thanksgiving at every moment? What about all the injustice?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, we need to be thankful and work against the injustice both, and it's got to be something that we contemplate so deeply every day that we really feel it.
It's a daily Thanksgiving, a day to give thanks, and someone saying, what about the injustice? We don't want you to be thankful. We want you to be angry at somebody.
Yeah, right.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1477. It's November 28th, 2024. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. A day of giving thanks. And I thank you, Kaustubha, for being in my life. After many decades, you're still here. I'm so grateful for you. Grateful for Miss Mara. Miss Mara has just been... She just sort of got sucked into this podcast. I was like, hey, can you help out? Can you hold the camera? Can you set up my thing? She got sucked. Next thing you know, she's got a full-time unpaid career here at in the Wisdom of the Sages. And she does it every day. I'm grateful for her. And I'm grateful. My kids are all home for the holidays. We had a great RC car race in the driveway. All the kids. We have 3 6'4" teenagers sleeping in the garage in the couch this morning. So that's why we're not
19 feet right there.
It's 19 feet, right? We're not. That's why we're not doing the podcast downstairs today. We're just staying up all night, doing their thing. And
not to be thankful. We've got to thank all the listeners.
Want to thank, grateful for all the listeners. It's grateful. Whatever Thanksgiving was, and people are like, well, you should hear the history of Thanksgiving. Whatever it was, we've upcycled it. Here's what Thanksgiving is nowadays. It's a day to give thanks. Give appreciation for people in your life, for the places, right? Why hold on to some weird thing of what it was and had some significance again? Let's make it what it is today. It's a day to give thanks. This is always important. Give appreciations. I'm thankful for all of you. Thankful for all these people on Zoom that show up every day to hear the Bhagavatam. And most of all, if it wasn't for them, I'd probably be like, well, I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to sleep in today. So I'm thanking you guys for keeping me accountable. Thank for all the others out there, the others that listen to the podcast, but we often don't see their face. Grateful for you guys.
Thanks for all the supporting members to the Sage Community Platform.
Thank you for all the people that support this. They give some financial donation. It makes the show happen because it's just, we do it for free, but people give some donation. And if you want to give a monthly donation, you can give $5, you can give $500, whatever you want. Keep this thing flowing. I appreciate it. Shout out to Linda, also a volunteer
Can I
manager.
thank anybody here?
Let me thank Linda first, and it's you. Linda, thank you for all the work you do. It's like herding cats trying to herd me and Kastuba. You know, it's like herding a mean cat and a nutty cat. Oh, wait, that didn't come out nice, but
Maybe
Anyway.
maybe I don't need to be saying any of the thanks.
Okay, mean cat, what do you got?
I think you're the Raghunath. I'm not. You just interpret everything as judgmental and mean. It's not. Okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just let that go. Let that go.
Right.
I want to thank all the people you thank. Yourself, Mara, Linda.
You don't thank the thanks. We already thanked them.
I
Thank
didn't get a
newer
chance.
people.
I
I've
didn't
thanked
get a
on
chance.
behalf of you.
Well, it didn't feel that way.
Okay.
I know what's going on, so I want to say it myself. I want to thank Sudevi, Ishwar Sundari, Shirupa, Chapu, for all doing also they're taking on a lot of background work for the sage groups, for what we're developing in terms of the Sage Academy and Sage Care. Nityananda Chandra, who has done so much for the Sage Community Platform. So many people have stepped forward to help. It means a lot to us.
Matt Jaffe and his team, they
Matt
built
Jaffe
out the
and
whole
his team,
website.
Brother Nature.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We exist by the mercy of others, Kastuba.
We really do.
Great way to look at the world, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a nugget on that kind of subject today. I think you might like it.
Well, good.
Do
I
we have
find that
announcements?
to the degree that I'm grateful, I'm pretty happy and satisfied. To the degree that I'm entitled, I'm bitter, miserable, etc. Yeah, we got a nugget. We have some announcements. No announcements. I got one announcement, and it is winding down. It is Black Friday weekend extravaganza here with the Punk to Monk book. If you want to get a case of books at cost, meaning it's my price, it's the price the publisher charges me, you can get them. You got to email Mara, wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. I'm only accepting this through this Monday coming up. You get a case shipped anywhere. You got to pay for the shipping, of course. It comes out to whatever comes out to probably $19 a books. But if you want $19 a book, but you get in cases of 10, you can get one bookcase, or you can double it, or you can double that and get 4 cases. But do that by Monday. We'll send them out.
Double the 4 cases?
Yeah, you can get 8. You can get 8. You can only order in doubles, though. That's how it works. You can't get 3. You can't do odd numbers. You can't do prime numbers.
It gets really tricky as it starts to get higher, it starts to jump.
60,
big jumps.
64 cases. Anyway, I'm going to get that going if you want to. It's a great way to do all your Christmas gifts in one. You know what I used to do for Christmas? I used to give out like neck beads when I was a brahmachari. Okay, everybody gets neck beads. Everybody gets incense. Everybody gets, and my brothers and sisters would be like, okay, here comes the incense this year from Brother Ray. But you can actually give a book. It seems a little bit more significant. I think you'd like this. Something like that. Explains your spiritual journey through my spiritual journey. That's my message of the day. Mara, what do we got? A nugget today? Yeah. A thank you nugget? A Thanksgiving nugget? By the way, Mara, boom, hit a grand slam home run with dinner yesterday. Yeah, that was incredible. And today we're having, what do we have for Thanksgiving dinner today, Mara?
Got a vegetable Wellington, some
That
stuff.
vegetable Wellington.
Vegetable Wellington.
Some stuffing. We have that
vegetable
roast.
Wellington. It was along with a Hassenpfeffer.
Some crumpets, perhaps.
Some tea and crumpets.
Stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, that roast from Vegan Truckers, some roasted Brussels sprouts, some salad, some bread, some pies.
It's
Well,
a
this is a major
Thanksgiving
lineup.
extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. And me and Sharon will make a blueberry pie.
Yeah. And Yvette's bringing up
Get
some
out.
vegan pumpkin pies.
Yeah.
Don't wear that white shirt when you're making that blueberry pie. Right?
Or when you're eating it.
Yeah.
Or when you're eating.
Sachi's going to make a vegan quiche. Okay.
Wow.
So that's what's going on here for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All right. Here is the nugget.
Would you like to know who it's from?
Konrad von Gesner.
That's right.
What does von mean?
Maybe? I don't know.
The Gesner? Conrad von
Help us
Gesner.
out.
Help it up.
German
What
speaking
Dutch?
people.
It's a Dutch thing, isn't it?
Is it? Maybe.
I think so.
Von Dutch. That's why you're thinking it's Dutch.
Best of all, here it
It means
is.
of. Conrad of Gesner.
Of Gesner. It's a place. Okay.
Would you like to know who he is?
I'm
You're gonna
Raghunath
find him.
of
Raghunath,
Danbury.
You're gonna find him really fascinating.
Was he a spelunker?
Konrad von Gesner, he lived between 1516 and 1565. He was a Swiss physician, naturalist, bibliographer, and philologist.
Who's a philologist, and these are all like what I partially invest my time in.
But his whole bibliography stuff is all about botany. You see,
of course.
Of course. Born into a family in Zurich, Switzerland, his father and teachers quickly realized his talents and supported him to university, where he studied the classical languages, theology, and medicine. He became Zurich's city physician, but was able to spend much of his time on collecting, researching, and writing. Gesner compiled monumental works on bibliography and zoology, and was working on a major botanical text at the time of his death from the plague at age 43. He was regarded as the father of modern scientific bibliography, zoology, and botany.
He was the father of bibliographies. What does that mean?
I think it was just a way of, back before there was the internet and back before there was the library, people needed to create ways to maintain knowledge and categorize knowledge. And I think that's
interesting. Here is like the position of Switzerland, and he dies at 43, 49.
The plague.
So that the Dr. Fauci.
Let's hear what the good doctor
Switzerland in the 1500s. Best of all, this is what he said. Best of all, if I was him, I'd be dead already. I always hear of these people that are dead.
You wouldn't be him if that's the case. That's like a total Yogi Berra statement right there. If I was him, I'd be dead already.
Best of all is it to preserve everything in a pure, still heart, and let there be for every pulse a thanksgiving, and for every breath a song. For every pulse. So it seems like, according to this quote by Conrad, Thanksgiving was a phrase used before Thanksgiving.
Well, it's probably in German that he said it, right?
I guess. Best of all,
German forgive you.
Don't even try.
Is there a German word for Thanksgiving? Someone help us. Reini.
Ask Reini. Best of all is it to preserve everything.
I think
still
probably
heart.
It's probably best of all is to. That it probably shouldn't be there.
Best of all is to preserve everything
in
a pure, still heart, and let there be every pulse of thanksgiving and every breath a song. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say it. This is actual health. We talk about health and becoming healthy. How much does our thoughts and our hurt heart attribute to sickness?
Very connected.
Very connected to sickness. Matter of fact, when we say that prayer before we read the Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. Whenever we say that, it's almost like, oh, thank God. Everything troublesome in my heart's going to become eradicated. Yes. I feel so good when I hear that every day. Every day. It looks like I'm just saying this rotely, but every day, everything that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated. So it is a process of actually keeping the heart pure and still. And what else did he say? Every word, every pulse. Can you read that again? I just lost it.
You want me to read it? I can do it. Oh, you
got
read
it. Yeah, you read it.
Best of all is to preserve everything in a pure, still heart, and let there be for every pulse a thanksgiving.
Every pulse of thanksgiving.
Breath, a song.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I feel like we were on the same page with Conrad in that regard.
I knew you would like him.
Yeah.
Maybe his botany kind of had
It's
him
hard.
thinking like this.
You know, it's crazy. He was doing botany during the plague, you know, doing zoology, bibliographies. At the same time, Lord Chaitanya was walking to Jagannath Puri with all his devotees.
There's a
Is that
connection
crazy?
there. Yeah.
Or maybe right afterwards,
Yeah,
right after
somewhere
Lord
close.
Chaitanya left the planet. Imagine if there was internet back then. They could just like, what's going on
It
in
would be a
India?
different world.
It'd be a whole different world. He could just follow. Oh, it looks like a whole bunch of Bengalis are walking to Puri. You know what I mean? To see Lord Jagannath.
Yeah. Social media.
Social
Shivananda Sen,
media.
I just shout out to Shivananda Sen. He's arranged everything so nice.
He's a
Check out the dog. Oh, Fergus lost it.
It seems like the dog is chanting Hare Krishna.
That dog's chanting Hare Krishna. Careful, the thumper, Raghunath, the thumper.
You may have killed Raghunath.
Oh God! Did he get reels of them going on pilgrimage to Jagannath Puri? Like throwing chapatis to the dog, and the dog is getting lost, and it seems like the dog is lost. If you know that pastime, it's funnier. The dog is lost. Shivananda Sen's really upset at everybody. Everyone's looking for the dog late at night. The dog wouldn't get. They wouldn't. The boat person wouldn't let him cross the river without the dog. So
Everybody like, oh look, we found the dog.
We found the dog. Here's the dog getting in the boat, and Shivananda Sen paying for the dog to get in the boat. The boatman getting paid off by the Brahmins. Oh my God, that was good, Kastuba. Thank you for that.
There you go.
I think
Thankful for the laughter.
I think laughing is so important to our health until you take it to that next stage where
you laugh too much,
where it could be
and you
dangerous.
get a hernia.
Where it could be dangerous. Can you laugh? I'm going to put this out to our message board. Can you laugh and kill yourself? Can that
I'm sure
happen?
people have died laughing. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think it's an expression. But anyway, there is a point where I'm like, I might die. That was a good one, though.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But let's get back into the nugget here for a second.
Okay, what do you got to say about this?
Well, I was just thinking, and I think you resonate a lot with this, Raghunath. You see, well, let's first look at what he's saying. The way I understand this, he's saying, we really need to be careful about our own thoughts. We really need to monitor our own thoughts. And when he says a pure, still heart, that means a pure, still mind, like that part of the mind where we hold things very dear, we could call the heart. And if we're not conscious to bring a little stillness, and purity in the heart. What does purity of heart mean? It has to do with selflessness, right? Not having a heart full of selfish desires. Then it's a pure heart. And a still heart means it's not distracted by this and that and the other thing. So if our heart is pure of selfish desires, and if our heart is not distracted by so many petty things, then we can actually feel gratitude. And I like the way he says it. Every pulse, he talks about the pulse and the breath. These are the two constants in life, right? From the moment that we're born to the moment that we die, there's our pulse and there's our breath. And these are things that are happening internally, when we quiet the mind.
You're analyzing this, sir.
You like this? Yeah. When
I love the way you're doing this. Yeah, the pulses.
Thank you.
These are happening internally. The heartbeat's going internally.
And it's one way of settling the mind is to bring it to the pulse or to bring it to the breath. Yogis do this, right? And then you realize, and that's the constant. It's always going on. So he's saying there should be a constant. We should be feeling a constant state of thanksgiving. And our life should be a constant song. Now that's a very cheery message, right there. And this is where I want to go, where I think you may also resonate with this, Raghunath. And we talk about these things, but I think we just need to talk about them more. We really need to get without feeling animosity towards anyone, we really need to we need to be so confident about what we're doing in this path of bhakti that we don't let anyone slow us down, drag us down, confuse us, even shame us for it, right?
Yeah.
And my conviction is when we bring a lot of nuggets onto this show, right? And when we look at wise people from all different cultures and all different ages, it seems to me that the real wise ones knew something. And that had to do with, yes, we're all about improving the world. But anybody that's talking about improving the world without talking about improving the self first, there's
spiritually bypassing.
You could say that.
You know what I mean?
You
They're-
flip
they
it on them. Right?
spiritually bypass
You could
their
flip it
own
like
self.
that. You really could. You really could. It's, or you could even, if you didn't even want to call it spiritual bypassing, you could actually call it like justice bypassing. Like until you deal with yourself, you're not going to actually be an instrument of justice or peace.
Sure.
And so, we see the Martin Luther Kings, and we see just across the board, all the great thinkers, all the people that really brought positive, lasting transformation. They really focused on the self first, and then from that platform, they brought their, whether you want to call it activism, or they brought their influence into the world. And people nowadays will shame you for how can there be Thanksgiving at every moment? What about all the injustice?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, we need to be thankful and work against the injustice both, and it's got to be something that we contemplate so deeply every day that we really feel it.
It's a daily Thanksgiving, a day to give thanks, and someone saying, what about the injustice? We don't want you to be thankful. We want you to be angry at somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's all get out there and be angry.
Right. So I appreciated Conrad von Gesner's thing. I love the idea. We've got to take our practice of bhakti further and further and further. Really, we have to take it to extreme levels, right? That someone could be feeling Thanksgiving even when really apparently unfortunate things are happening to them, to be able to say, I'm thankful. We have to come to that level. Then we're situated in reality. We'll realize that whatever I'm going through is something I brought upon myself through my own confusion and my own selfishness. I accept it, and I'm thankful for it because it's going to help me let go of it all. Every pulse, Thanksgiving.
Every pulse. Beautiful. That was a great report.
Nice nugget, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I
appreciate
appreciated I'm thankful for yours as well.
I was being serious, though.
I was too. You see.
I will say that if you really analyze our whole bhakti practice, the whole thing is about giving thanks, isn't it?
It really is.
The whole thing. I mean, we wake up in the morning, if you live in an ashram, and you sing prayers to the guru. That's the first thing you think. It's, what are prayers to the guru? It's like appreciation for what I have. I've been given something by somebody else. Thank you. Then you do prayers to the Panchatatva, to Lord Chaitanya. I wouldn't even known this mysterious stuff if it wasn't for you, Lord Chaitanya. And then you go to the Hare Krishna mantra, which is, please let me give back for all that you've given me. The whole then we worship Nishingadev, then we worship Tulsi, then we worship Guru again, then we worship the Srimad Bhagavatam, the source of knowledge. It's like the whole thing is a thanksgiving. We're almost like training ourselves out of entitlement, and out of our bitterness, out of our broken hearts, out of our betrayed hearts, into, I am so fortunate.
Yeah. And ingratitude, it's there in the Ramayana, where it's, who spoke about ingratitude in the Ramayana?
Let me think here. Who spoke about ingratitude?
Who through their neglect expressed ingratitude towards Lord Ram? Want a hint?
Yeah, just tell me.
He was a monkey.
Yeah, Bali. Sugriv.
Sugriv.
Lakshman was telling Sugriv.
Lakshman
was telling Sugriv. He was unappreciative.
I forget the
of Lord
exact
Ram.
quote. What happened was they had made a deal, right? Ram was going to help Sugriv, and he went ahead and did it. Got the job done.
What happened? He got everything he needed. He became the king. He became intoxicated, started fornicating with other monkey women. And
okay.
And then it just started. And then, he forgot about his duties, and Lakshman had to give him a wake-up call.
Yeah, and he had a statement that I wish I could remember it, but I think more or less it was like the worst sin. The worst sin is not this or that or the other things that people. It's ingratitude.
Ingratitude. I tell you, there's nothing worse than someone who's ungrateful. There's nothing worse. You can tell.
I hate them.
You can tell. I hate those ungrateful people. I guess except for hate.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, but any case, nothing like gratitude. Thank you for sharing them. Oh man.
Thank you.
Mary shared a special message with me on it. Thank you. All right, Raghunath. Good nugget, huh? Konrad von Gesner. I think you should look into him a little bit. I think you two would connect. I think you
Maybe I'm
two
an
would have been
incarnation
friends.
of him. Maybe I'm an
I-
incarnation of him. He died in the
It's
1500s. We were on. Me and him are on the same path. We both love zoology. We both love botany. We both love bibliographies.
you see?
Mara just laughed at me for saying that. She goes,
Bibliographies.
I do love bibliographies. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Narayanam namaskrityanam chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti ravati naishtaki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksuran Midatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading
Yeah.
from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 16, Text 29, Chapter 15. And guess what, Kastuba? It's snowing here at Super Soul Farm.
Oh, it's going to be a white Thanksgiving, huh?
Mm,
That just makes it all the more cozy, doesn't
of sorts.
it? You don't like it because you got to do the driveway?
Yeah. We're planting some trees here. and
Get
so it's gonna
those
make the tree planting difficult.
6'4" guys out there and shoveling.
Yeah, get this.
Hmm?
All the kids. It's sort of intimidating when your teenagers get bigger than you. It's sort of like now there's like these men hanging around the house. 'Cause before, when they're little kids, it's just like it's just a little kid running around. How cute! Now it's like there's a bunch of men in my house,
They've
and they're
got
eating
their
all
own
of our
ideas.
food. And they smell a little bit, and they've got their own. They've got their own ideas. They don't. And I'm supposed to support them, but they don't have to like. They don't. They feel a little entitled
Okay,
themselves.
let's bring in a little feeling a little Thanksgiving here.
I
you
like
grateful
my
that
kids.
they're here?
My kids are good. I'm really happy, and my older son's coming here too. My son Damodar. I'm excited for that.
He's coming for Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give him the deity of Lord Chaitanya?
Yeah, our Lord Chaitanya deity that me and Kastuba bought.
Wow.
Okay, here we go.
Beautiful deity.
So text 29.
Okay, what's going
Either
on
you-
again? Brihaspati. Oh, he's saying, well, how powerful Bali Maharaj is now, because I think Brihaspati is telling Indra that you can't stand up to Bali right now because he's got such power due to his complete devotion and giving everything in service of his guru. He's got so much power right now, you can't even, your armies can't stand before him. There's such power in that principle.
Mm.
So you got to hide. Text
All
29.
right, here's what it says. Neither you nor your men can conquer the most powerful Bali. Indeed, no one but the Supreme Personality of Godhead can conquer him. For he is now equipped with the supreme spiritual power, the Brahma Tejas.
Brahma Tejas.
As no one can stand before Yamaraj, no one can now stand before Bali Maharaj.
Whoa.
Okay, he's got powerful blessings from his guru Sukracharya. Therefore, waiting until the situation of your enemies is reversed, you should all leave this heavenly planet and go elsewhere where you will not be seen. So here it is, the ongoing wars between good and evil. Okay. Bali Maharaj has now become extremely powerful because of the benedictions given him by the brahmanas. But when he later insults the brahmanas, he will be vanquished along with his friends and assistants.
Okay, now Raghunath, you're going to like text 32.
Yeah. Sukadeva Goswami continued. The demigods, being thus advised by Brihaspati for their benefit, immediately accepted his words, assuming forms according to their desire, like it already. They left the heavenly planets and scattered without being observed by the demons. It means they could just turn into like a bird.
Shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting. It's real.
Here's Prabhupada's commentary.
It's, you
He
know what's
said the
interesting? It's
Yeah.
interesting because if I was just saying shape-shifting's real, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. But it is. It's speaking about it right now. Shape-shifting, because it's real.
Bubba,
I'm not
I'm
saying
steps
if
ahead of you over
me
here.
this.
I've already accepted it. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I'm right here
You
accepting it.
want to read about it?
Huh? Yeah, well, here's Prabhupada's commentary. He says, here's the Sanskrit term for shape-shifting, or the ability to shape-shift. The word
Kamarupa.
kamarupana, yeah. To take a form as you desire, right? The
Yeah.
word kamarupana indicates that the demigods, the inhabitants of the heavenly planets, can assume any form they desire.
Mhm.
Thus, it is not at all difficult for them to remain incognito before the eyes of the demons. What
It's
form?
a yogic city too. Yogis can do it. Certain yogis can do that city as well.
What form would you take, Raghunath, in this circumstance?
If I was to get out of town because there's a bunch of bad guys coming.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if like my house was overrun with demons.
Yeah.
I just like turn into a bug. I can witness what they're doing. You know.
Right, right.
Well, if they were
You
just
could even become a
robbing-
piece of furniture or something if you wanted
No,
to.
even a fly. Although if I was a fly, would I be able to see them?
But they've got crazy eyes, those flies.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Actually, it'd have to be some type of humanoid. Anyway, I had a dream about Raghunath Swami yesterday. Just putting that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a
we're almost
great
done with this
thing to
chapter.
wake up having a dream about Raghunath Swami.
Good.
When the
good.
demigods had disappeared, Bali Maharaj, the son of Rothchild, entered the heavenly kingdom, and from there he brought the three worlds under his control.
So he
By the
just
way, Mary's
took it
been
over.
making me this ginger clove water tea
Yeah,
every
you
morning.
talked about it a couple shows ago, Raghunath. You gave your full
Very, very
endorsement.
powerful.
Okay.
Mm. The Brahmin descendants of Brigu, being very pleased with their disciple, who had conquered the entire universe, now engaged him in performing 100 Asvamedha sacrifices.
Yeah.
So now they're just
Because
getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger.
yeah, this is these brahmanas. You know, there are different types of brahmanas, right? There are some that are into like more like priests, and
Mm.
there's some that are more like teachers, right? Like the priests are into doing these rituals,
Mm.
and through these rituals they can manipulate the material energy, you know? They had faith in it, and they could see the results. They're almost like more like scientists than like a priest in a church.
Right.
You know?
You ever
And
wonder if, like, the 1%, the Illuminati people, whoever are controlling
here we go.
Joe Biden and, all the leaders of the world, they're actually in control of them. Ever wonder if they actually are not just in control because they're very smart, but they're actually weird sort of dark mystics? Ever think like that? Like they actually know rituals
I
and
think about it
pujas and
every day.
yajnas?
Raghunath. I think about it all the time.
Well, I'm
We-
just saying
We
they
have
could.
to build up.
They
They
could.
All we can do is chant Hare Krishna.
I know. That's
become
you
good
know,
devotees
it really
ourselves.
brings me back there. What are we gonna do? Just know about it and then just drive us crazy?
No, chant. Get the Sankirtan going. It's just like
You know what? It
demons
really,
can't
it
take
really
They
is true.
scramble.
The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. The more my
Right.
mind wants to go to who's controlling me out there, and who's corrupt and who's the actual demon behind everything. It's just like, who cares? You're gonna die before you figure it out anyway. Just chant the holy name and try to connect before you die.
There you go.
The,
Try
the
to connect
conspiracy theories, I've seen conspiracy. It's not whether it's conspiracy theory is real and whether it's real or not, you're gonna die. And keep the main thing.
That's no
the main
theory.
thing. That's no conspiracy theory. That's just that's the real theory. We're about to die, and there probably are forces controlling this world. We probably will never get to the bottom of it, no matter how many YouTube videos you watch at midnight. I watched 100 YouTube videos on who's controlling the universe. But the fact is, we're going to die. Why not take this
Rothchilds.
holy name and keep it? Yeah. Because then you hate the Rothchilds. You hate Yeah,
Rockefellers,
the Rockefellers, or the demons,
Skull
or
and Bones.
Skull and Bones. There's so many people to hate out there that are trying to control you. Just accept that, you know what? They are still under, right? Even the demon, these demons, even Ravana. You
Yeah.
think the Rothchilds are more powerful than Ravana? Come
Not
on.
even close.
Not even close. They're still trying to figure out how to do the pujas themselves. I mean, Ravana was a master of this stuff, and he gets
Right.
defeated by Lord Ram. Why don't we go right to the top?
Okay.
Right? Go right to the top,
Yeah.
worship Lord Ram, and accept that
You-
we're going to lose our bodies soon, and let's get very, very reconnected. So in our next life, we're either with Lord Ram, with Lord Krishna, or just have a much, much better auspicious birth.
You know who wrote about this? Not exactly about that, but about
Rothschilds?
no, wrote about this idea of Vedic sacrifice and the priests and all that.
Who?
You know Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, Ravindra
Yeah.
Swarup Dasa. If anyone wants to look him up on the internet, Ravindra Swarupa Dasa.
There's a great book that he wrote, which is a collection of essays. If anyone, it's called Endless Love. See if anybody can find
Oh,
that
yeah.
online.
That's good stuff.
Such a good book.
There,
Okay.
if you look up, if you go Ravindra Swarup Dasa, and I'm trying to remember the
I'll put
title
his
of
name
the
on the board.
essay. Okay. But if I could remember the title of that essay, what was it again?
The Kala Chakra or something?
No, not that one. Let me
How
see
I
if
was
have
saved
it.
from being saved.
Oh, I got it.
Encounters with the Lord of
It's
the
called The
Universe.
Quest for Synthesis.
Okay.
And this was a paper that he delivered at the, I think it was called the Conference of, it was at a Conference for Science and Religion.
Hmm.
This was in 1989. And he was really just describing, he did it in a particular context, but to speak to the point that he wanted to speak to, he had to explain the difference between karma, jnana, and bhakti. And in the course of that, he was writing about, let me see if I can find exactly what he wrote. It'll just take me a second, I think.
You're really good at
Find.
researching things.
And the word, I think, is conditions, I think would do it.
When I research things, I find some other things come up, and then I start looking at those things, and then I forget what I'm researching.
Next conditions.
Right,
Yeah,
come on,
okay, here.
Okay.
So he's talking about the practice of yajna. Let me go back a little bit.
Sacrifice.
You ready? I think you'll like this, Raghunath. He's such a brilliant mind, huh?
Okay.
So he's saying, I'll go a couple paragraphs back. In the mantras recited at sacrifice, so think of these priests. They're sitting around a fire. They got all their fancy clothes on. They're chanting precise mantras, offering ghee into the fires along with the mantras. But they're not, his point is it's not so much like religion, but it's more like science.
Sure.
What they were doing. So he says, now in the mantras recited at the sacrifice, the names of various devatas, controlling demigods, are invoked. And it would seem that these mantras summoned the favor of the gods, and the sacrifice achieved its results by propitiating them. Not so, claims the Karma Mimamsas, right? There's this whole school of philosophy that's saying, well, I'll read on. The mantras and the procedures are potent in and of themselves, and they evoke the gods in order to compel them or their specific powers. Indeed, the gods themselves are sustained by the power of sacrifice. As for the supreme god, the Karma Mimamsas, these priests, their school either denies his existence or declares his irrelevance. We don't even need to know about God. We know how to manipulate the material energy through our rituals, right? He says the practice of yajna is a science of an archaic science, but a science nonetheless. It's an enterprise centrally concerned with acquiring mastery of practical techniques for the direct control and dominion of nature for human benefit. And then I won't go into some of the technicalities he writes about here, but he says we should understand that when the priest took great pains to observe what we call ritual purity, they're washing their hands all the time. They're,
Sure.
sitting facing the exact right direction. They have the grass mat with the ends pointed towards the east instead of towards the west. It's like there's all these details that they're very concerned with. So he says we should understand that they're taking great pains to observe what we call ritual purity. In their minds, the minds of these priests, they were establishing the required mental preconditions for the efficacy of the mantras. Even though we may not believe that thought can act on matter over distance, unless we are persuaded by some experiments in psychical research, the acts of these priests are still intelligible to us as establishing controlled laboratory conditions. Right? Just like a doctor or a scientist in a laboratory, they're very concerned with the purity of the experiment, that nothing's contaminating it, etc.
Sure.
Because they know that if I mix this and I mix that, I'm going to get this effect. And I don't have to think about God. I don't have to think about the devas. I just need to do it right and do it purely, and it'll be effective. And so they were more or less establishing these kind of controlled laboratory conditions. Now, what's happened with Bali is now he's taken over the role of Indra. Their dynasty is in power, and their priests are now performing laboratory, not exactly experiments, but like they're doing stuff in the labs in order to keep him in that position. And they knew that Indra had done 100 of these rituals, the horse rituals. So they're saying, we need to get you to do 100. Otherwise, he may come back, right? He may get his power back. So I'll read the verse again. It says, the brahmanas descendants of Brigu, being very pleased with their disciple, who had conquered the entire universe, now engaged him in performing 100 Ashvamedha sacrifices. We read earlier about how Indra had done 100 back in the 4th canto. Okay.
All right, let's try to finish this chapter. We're almost done here.
All right.
When Bali Maharaj performed these sacrifices, he gained a great reputation in all directions throughout the 3 worlds. Pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting in itself. Like, not just this planet, but other universes are recognizing his power.
Or all layers of the universe.
Layers of universes, yeah. When Bali Maharaj performed these 3 sacrifices, he gained great reputation. Okay. Thus, he shone in his position like a brilliant moon in the sky. Because of the favor of the brahmanas, the great soul, Bali Maharaj, thinking himself very satisfied, became very opulent and prosperous and began to enjoy the kingdom.
All right.
Yeah, this is what demons on earth could pathetically try for. The
Rothchilds.
The Rothchilds. Even if they have some little tiny, demigod powers, like they can live for many hundreds of years or something
You
like
think
that.
the Rothschilds are living for hundreds of years?
Maybe.
Okay.
If they figured this stuff out.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway,
All
that's
right.
the show. Let's go to Mara.
You want to end early today?
Well, it's Thanksgiving, and there's figgy pudding to be made.
I think that's a Christmas thing.
All right.
Wait, Mara,
What you got, Mara?
stick your lovely mug in this picture here. It's lovely, Mara.
All right. Give appreciation and thanks on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Okay.
We exist by the mercy of others.
Actually, not just on Thanksgiving. Every pulse and every breath.
Every
Mara.
pulse and every breath, Mara. Rewrite that, please.
Okay.
Okay. Every day is Thanksgiving here at Super Soul Farm.
All right.
To the degree we're grateful, we're happy. And to the degree we're entitled, we're sad.
That's a
I
Ragu
didn't
one,
say
right?
that, but did I say that this time?
You did.
Okay.
It said something like that.
That's a Raguism, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Laughter is the best thing for your health until it kills you.
Careful, Ragu. Careful.
It is very good. I try to laugh every day. A song,
did-
song also.
Did you,
You know
look
what,
that
it's
up, Mara?
interesting?
Has anybody died laughing?
I haven't looked.
I'm going to look it up right now. I'm on it.
Okay.
Can
you
laugh
have
and
a-
kill you.
End song
Oh my
queued
God.
up too.
Did I?
I do.
Did I send you that meme yesterday? Did you ever we were talking about inappropriate laughing? Ever like being in school and you're looking at your best friend for some reason
Oh,
you
I
just
saw
can't
that
stop
one, yeah, yeah.
laughing? Ever have that happen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you this meme. It was so funny. It was like a
No, you
TV
sent it to me.
interview. I
I
did.
saw it. It wasn't
like a
real
T-
though, Raghunath. That was a skit. You do know that,
No,
right?
it wasn't.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Sorry to break. I should have let you believe it.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. You can't be an instrument of peace and justice until your mind is settled.
Okay. Oh,
You know
by
what's
the way, I got it.
interesting?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know what's
Anybody listening to my takeaways?
what?
No, that had to do with I heard it. I did hear it, but I forgot it already.
You know what's
What you got there, Kastu?
Wait,
Sorry.
what's Kostuba doing?
Looking up
I
if
got the
anybody's
thing
died
about whether you
laughing.
can die laughing.
Okay. All right. Let's hear.
Yes, laughing can be fatal in rare cases, asphyxiation or cardiac arrest. Laughing can cause asphyxiation or cardiac arrest, which can lead to death.
Imagine if someone makes me laugh on the show. Like
You almost lost it today. Laughing
And I
hard can lead
died.
to other medical reasons that can be fatal, such as collapsed lungs, strangulated hernia, stroke, ruptured brain aneurysm,
What?
Gosh.
elastic seizures.
Kostuba.
You're gonna have to stop laughing.
I have to
Raghunath.
stop laughing. Laughing
Think
is
of your
not
thumper.
good for you. Please, I urge you on this
Don't
Thanksgiving,
laugh.
2024, stop laughing at things. There's a lot of
Okay.
people, you know, it's practically epidemic, people dying of laughter.
I think
Let's-
moderation in the laughing will be healthy.
I know, but that's the problem with laughing. It's like alcohol. You can't some people can't moderate it.
Once you start,
It's just
it's a slippery slope.
it's a slippery slope.
Okay.
I will say though, you know, in Bhakti, we have like this thing, like the path to our salvation is through dance
Yeah.
and
Feasting,
well, feasting too. Yeah.
chanting.
Well,
chanting.
I was thinking dancing and singing.
Yeah.
You know, dancing and singing. I guess those could also be fatal.
Anything potentially could practically be fatal.
Yeah, but I guess it's not bad if you're laughing or dancing and chanting
It
or
was so
even eating
funny.
prasadam and you die. Like,
You
it's not a
know,
bad way to go. I wonder how many people died in kirtan. You know?
Tara and I bumped into Kripanidhi Prabhu, and his wife's name again is
Karuna Mai.
Karuna
Karuna
Mai.
Mai, yeah,
Their daughter
Karuna Mai.
Ladini is going to do the. She's
That's
going
right.
to lead the Kirtan Academy this year.
That's right. So we bumped into them, and we're talking about somehow the conversation went to bathing in the Ganga and the different ghats, and then it turned to like, oh, you know, recently a few people died.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They died in
because
the
that
Ganga?
happens regularly. And then we start saying, you know, it's always been like that. You know, there's always this. What could we
There's
do?
always
To,
the
what
story
could
of
be
someone
done to
dying.
stop it? What could be done to prove it? And then Karuna Mai just said, well, you know, it's going to happen. Right? It's like you die in the Ganga, and my voyages just can't die in a better place. So
Yeah, people die
if
in
a couple
lakes
people
all the
died
time.
laughing, or chanting and dancing, if they're chanting and dancing at the time, they're fortunate.
I heard that lakes are filled with ghosts.
Oh,
Lakes
here
and
we go.
oceans. If
Mara-
people die.
Next,
Yeah,
back to the
Back to our
takeaways.
takeaways.
I'm serious. And I think that's why Indians don't like to swim so much.
Okay.
Indians, correct me if I'm wrong. Dinesh, we'll unmute Dinesh.
When we're done with
Mary.
our
And we're done with
takeaways.
our takeaways.
Could you
yeah.
read the last one over again, Mara?
Yeah, you
But-
can't be an instrument of peace until your mind is settled and peaceful. Or you can't be an instrument of justice until your mind is settled and peaceful.
There you go.
Dinesh.
All right. The whole bhakti path is about giving thanks.
Raghunath is
Yeah.
totally. Okay.
Got an idea.
You're not listening to me.
Now I got to do an experiment after the show.
Okay, Mara.
Train your mind out of greed and entitlement.
Train it right out of that.
Shape shifting is real.
That's what I'm trying to
Shape
tell you,
shifting
Raghu.
is real. I believe it.
Whether conspiracy theories are real or not, we're going to die.
That's right. Now, do you remember the Sanskrit name for shape-shifting, Raghu?
Kamarupa. Living is fatal, Kostuba.
It kills you.
And
Get ready with that finger on the music, Kostuba. Remember, that's your job. He's behind.
I've got it right
and
here.
are the Illuminati dark mystics?
Oh.
Weird takeaway on
Question.
Thanksgiving, Mara. Be
That was
thankful.
a little dark, man.
Life is good. Hey, where's Dinesh? Dinesh, can you unmute today? I gotta ask him about.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dinesh. Thanks everybody for joining us. 1 second,
Indian
Dinesh. Just
correspondent.
gonna thank everybody. He's our Hyderabad correspondent, and we're gonna talk to him about swimming soon. Everybody, have a great Thanksgiving. And remember BRG today, because a lot of times these holidays bring up the worst in people. Not everybody's celebrating people. Some people are going through stuff. Check out Bhakti Recovery Group, lean into their podcast, or go right to find a meeting today. Dinesh, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, this is just a sociological question. Happy Thanksgiving, first of all. Do you
Very normal
swim?
question.
Do you swim? Are you a good swimmer?
No, I can't swim.
See, what is it about Indians and swimming? Is it some type of superstition, or the swimming is inauspicious, or what is it?
No, it's not like it's unauspicious, but if you are closer to the like water body when you're growing up, then people do swim and they do enjoy it also. But then
Really?
some people, like especially elders, they fear a bit also because of the turbulent waters and all. Especially if the river is really flowing with a lot of water, and that's why they try to avoid it sometimes.
Okay, that's
If you're not
reasonable.
habituated from a young age, yeah.
I do think there's something connected to the water in the nether regions. I'm
Okay,
serious.
right.
I'm serious, Dinesh.